I'm finally free from being a smombie.
As you just heard, even a quick text could lead to a serious accident. This kind of behavior has a name, smombie, a word created by combining smartphone and zombie.
Walk with your head up and check your surroundings before you move. Let's build a safer traffic culture and keep our streets free from smombies. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM 부산영어방송.
The time is now 11 o'clock.
Welcome to BEFM News at 11. I'm Siwon Kim. Today, President Lee Jae-myung will wrap up his state visit to China in Shanghai. He will attend the Korea-China Venture Startup Summit and exchange views with young entrepreneurs driving innovation. Lee will also visit the site of the Provisional Government of the Republic of Korea to honor independence activists. The schedule reflects efforts to highlight shared experiences of restoring national sovereignty as bilateral ties recover. Lee will then return home, concluding his 4-day trip. During the visit, he met President Xi Jinping, Premier Lee Kyung, and NBC Standing Committee Chairman Zhao Leji to discuss economic cooperation, peace on the Korean Peninsula, and regional stability issues. The Democratic Party and the government said they will pursue proactive macroeconomic policies in the new year to support livelihoods and revive growth. At a party government meeting at the National Assembly today, Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister Koo Yoon-chul outlined the 2026 growth strategy. He said the government will boost domestic demand to support small business owners and vulnerable groups while accelerating a hyper-innovation economy centered on AI and energy transition. Koo highlighted gains in growth and the stock market, saying momentum is spreading to the real economy. However, he cited rising global protectionism, supply chain risks, and weakening traditional industries as challenges. In local news, Busan City announced today that hometown love donations reached a record 4.2 billion Korean won last year. This is around 9.2 times the 456 million won raised in 2024 and the highest among 8 metropolitan cities. The city credited a major prize event from October 16th to December 31st for much of the growth. During the event, around 29,000 donors contributed about 70% of the total. Funds will support 6 projects, including a happiness-sharing bus for social welfare centers, while also aiding vulnerable groups and boosting local culture, arts, health, and community development. Donations can be made through the official Hometown Love website with tax deductions and gifts offered. Busan City announced today that it's operating an expanded integrated Busan Pavilion at CES 2026, the world's largest consumer electronics and IT trade show held in Los Angeles. This year's pavilion features 30 exhibition spaces, up from last year, and showcases the largest ever innovation lineup in cooperation with 6 local universities, including Busan National University and Korea Maritime and Ocean University. The pavilion runs through January 9th inside the Global Pavilion and offers investment briefings and one-on-one meetings with global investors and buyers. 14 student supporters from Dongha University are providing business interpretation and consultation support. Notably, a record 13 Busan-based companies won CES Innovation and Best Innovation Awards, highlighting the city's growing global competitiveness. In international news, Venezuelan Attorney General Tarek William Saab said yesterday that a U.S. military operation on January 3rd to capture President Nicolas Maduro and his wife killed dozens of bodyguards and civilians. He called the attack a war crime, AP reported. The General Prosecutor's Office will investigate further. And now for today's weather. Current temperatures are 8 degrees Celsius under clear skies. With strong winds in some regions, caution is needed against wildfires, other accidents, and damage to facilities. That wraps up this hour's news. Thank you for joining us. You are listening to BFM 부산영어방송.
Your best choice. BEFM 부산영어방송.
Coming up next is Busan Worldwide with Stephanie Yoon. BEFM 부산영어방송.
Good morning and welcome to Busan Worldwide. Cities don't happen by accident. 도시는 우연히 만들어지지 않습니다. Decisions like where to build roads, how cities operate, and where public facilities are placed are all the result of research and careful planning. Now take Medellin in Colombia. Once known for drug cartels and violence, the city transformed itself by bringing together urban planners and social scientists. By redesigning transportation, welfare, and education as one connected system, Medellin actually significantly reduced crime. Also in Seoul, the late-night owl bus, 올빼미 bus, was also built on research. Today, it provides a safe ride home for millions of people every year and is now seen as a leading example of smart city policy around the world. And here in Busan, the Sanbok Road area was regenerated through research that respected both the city's history as a wartime refugee capital and the daily lives of its residents as well. It is now recognized as a sustainable, resident-led model of urban renewal. The future of a city is shaped by research and by the choices we make indeed. Well, this is Busan Worldwide, and I'm your host, Stephanie Yoon.
This is Busan Worldwide. Your window into Busan. Your bridge to the world.
Yes, you're listening live on this Wednesday morning. Happy Hump Day. It is January 7th, and you are tuned into BEFM 부산영어방송, 90.5 FM in Busan and 103.3 FM in Gijang, Jeongwan, and Noksan areas. We have some messages coming in, like Kim Young-min saying 반갑습니다. Hello and welcome to you. We have Wisdom Tooth Fairy joining us from the beginning. Welcome. Good morning. She shared, Stephanie 나와라 뿅. I am here. Well, thank you so much for waiting. And we also have Benny saying, good morning, Stephanie and everyone. Happy first Wednesday of 2026. And Benny, that is the last time you can say that because it is the 7th already. Well, listeners, as I mentioned earlier, research doesn't just stop and help us imagine the future. It actually helps us turn ideas into real change. 연구는 미래를 예측하는 데에서 그치지 않고 미래를 현실로 만드는 도구입니다. But for research to actually matter, it has to start with real problems on the ground and connect clearly to policy and action. Now, Busan is now facing several challenges at the same time. A declining population, changes in its industrial structure, and an aging urban environment as well. So on today's The Interview, we'll be joined by one of Busan's key policy leaders, the president of the Busan Development Institute. We're going to be talking about Busan's structural challenges, its vision as a global maritime hub, and topics such as AI, big data, industry academia collaboration, and lessons from international cities. Well, before we jump into today's The Interview, let's talk about question for you listeners for today. If you could spend just one day as a researcher, as we are talking about research today, what issue would you want to study to help Busan develop? Again, if you could spend just one day as a researcher, what issue would you want to study to help Busan develop? 네, 오늘의 문자 주제입니다. 만약 여러분이 1일 연구원이 된다면 부산의 발전을 위해서 어떤 연구를 해보고 싶으신가요? So fun ideas are welcome, like creating free 24-hour seawater footbaths across the city. I would love that. That would be very nice. And thoughtful ideas are welcome too, like researching how to make Busan the best city for raising children. You can send us your thoughts. You can be creative. I would love to see your creativity. It can be funky. It can be chaotic as well. We love to hear from you. And with that, let's jump into today's The Interview. And now it's time for The Interview. A city is built on many, many movements coming together. But for all the efforts to move in the same direction, one role is very essential: research. Research clarifies direction, provides the basis for choices, and keeps a city from losing its way. Now today, Busan stands on a critical turning point, facing population decline and an industrial transition. And that is why today, here at The Interview, we welcome Mr. Kim Young-jae, president of the Busan Development Institute. A former honorary professor in the Department of Economics at Busan National University, he has spent over 20 years as an economist with wide-ranging experience across economics, finance, and industry and public policy as well. 네, 도시는 많은 사람들의 노력으로 성장하지만 그 모든 움직임이 같은 방향으로 가기 위해선 연구라는 나침반이 필요합니다. 인구 감소와 산업 전환의 갈림길에 선 지금 부산의 미래를 이야기하기 위해서 오늘 더 인터뷰에선 김영재 부산연구원장과 함께 깊이 있는 대화를 나눠보겠습니다. Hello and welcome.
Good morning. Yeah, Happy New Year as a year of horse.
Yes,
yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. Year of the Red Horse. And yes, welcome, welcome, and Happy New Year to you as well. Now, you have taken office as the 14th president of the Busan Development Institute, leading Busan's policy and future strategy. So could you share your thoughts on taking up the post and offer a greeting to our listeners once again?
Yeah, I think I feel high level of responsibility as a president of Busan Development Institute due to two things. Yeah, the first one is that, as you understand, the global economy is filled with many kinds of uncertainties.
Absolutely.
The first one is that the U.S. high tariff, I would call it that is a preventive tariff. And the second issue is that U.S. and China conflict in many aspects. Since the two Chinese economy are very important in Korea's economic performance, in that sense, I feel high responsibility. And the second issue is that Busan's economy is not that so strong, in terms of job opportunities,
right,
especially for young people. And another issue is that increasingly widening gap between the capital area and the local area. I think that is also very quite important issues. Yeah, in other words, I have a lot of work to do for Busan today and also the future.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing those thoughts. And you can really hear the weight of responsibility you're carrying, especially at a time, as you mentioned, when global uncertainty and regional challenges are so closely intertwined.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Well, the Busan Development Institute is often called the brain of the city. After researching economics in academia, you are now in a position to study Busan as a whole and design its future as well. So, as president, what responsibility feels the heaviest?
Yeah, as I mentioned a little bit in the above, my duty or mission as president is to make Busan a city of hope and dream for the young.
Ooh.
Instead of the city of old and oceans. So when I was young, I heard of American Dream. Maybe you understand American Dream. That means that many young people move to United States.
Right.
Just like that, I'd like to make Busan as an attractive city for the young people from all over the world. Then they came to Busan, and also they can come through their dreams. So that is my actually very important duty or missions.
Right. I do like this Busan dream instead of American dream, and that vision of turning Busan into a city of hope and dreams for young people is absolutely special. I think it's a powerful way to reframe the conversation. Instead of what Busan has been, what it can become in the future. Absolutely very important. And I think many listeners will find that idea of Busan dream both inspiring but also very necessary as well.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Now, you have worked as an economist for over 20 years and also bring extensive experience from the private sector, including roles as an outside director in finance. So how do these experiences as an economic expert create synergy in leading the institute and shaping policy research?
Yeah, I think you mentioned a very important point for making the institute useful and also effective.
Right.
So, as you understand, Busan Development Institute is operated by city governments, Busan Metropolitan City, which implies that the institute should provide, as I said, useful and also effective policies for both city governments and also citizens of Busan in the long run, also in the short run today. In that respect, my experience would help making the bridges between city governments and our city council. Council is also very important organizations and also related agencies and companies for communications. That's various types of communication channels are constructed easily based on my past experiences, as you mentioned.
Right. Very insightful point. It sounds like you see the Institute not just as a research body, but like you said, as a bridge, helping research move smoothly into real-world decision-making. Yes. And upon taking office, you emphasize building an intellectual foundation for a global maritime hub city. What does the global hub city of Busan look like in concrete terms to you?
I think it's not that easy question. However, it's a very important question.
Right.
So what do you think of Singapore in Asia or New York in the United States?
It is the hub.
Right, hub. So many people will think Singapore is a hub in Asia. New York is a hub globally. Hub. So that I think that hub implies that they can find their jobs, what they want. Also, they can enjoy high quality educations and medical services, and they pursue. Then they can lead a happy or satisfactory life. Then I think those cities becomes global hub cities. So in one word, I think their dreams may come true. Then they call the city is global hub city. I think Busan has many potentials, such as you enjoy beaches and a very famous seaport and nice weather, as well as world-class universities. Around 20 universities, also very competitive companies in the neighboring area, such as Ulsan and Changwon. Thus, Busan is highly qualified, being a global hub city once we develop and also promote them.
Right. Absolutely. And when you describe a city where people from around the world come to work, study, and build fulfilling lives, I think it becomes much easier to imagine what a global hub city Busan could look like. And I would love to see that in my lifetime as well. Now, for research to become policy that really works on the ground, research methods themselves may need to change. So what does living research mean to you? And how will the Busan Development Institute's research approach evolve? And that approach, how would it evolve in the future?
Actually, there is Development Institute goals to be. So for me, I emphasize the two aspects when I started my job. One is field-based research, and the second one is that data-based research. So one more thing is to utilize the AI system, which is widely spread out, also very effective in research. So for field-based and data-based research, I'm thinking to operate various communication channels, as I said before, between and among the suppliers of researches and or demanders for researches. For researches, they might be suppliers and demanders. So my job is to connect supply and demand. Then I think the research will be very live,
Right.
because it has high probability to become a policies. Yeah. Then the outcome of research would become actual policies
Right.
that affects the life of citizens. At the same time, we need to develop, as I mentioned, that the AI-based smart research system, for making Busan Development Institute more effective and sustainable in the long run.
Right.
I think these are also very important issues.
Absolutely, yes. And I think what stands out here is your emphasis on research that stays closely connected to people's
Sure.
everyday lives, listeners tuning in today. And the idea of combining field-based research, data, and AI, as you mentioned, really captures what living research means in practice, not just in theory.
Yeah.
Well, listeners, if you're just tuning into Busan Worldwide, we're in the middle of the interview with Mr. Kim Young-jae here in the studio. He's the president of the Busan Development Institute. We are now in an era where AI and big data are essential tools for policy decisions, as we mentioned. So in which policy areas and in what ways is the Busan Development Institute applying these technologies to really improve citizens' lives?
Yeah, I think we can apply the AI system to two different stages. The first one is that in the early stage of research,
Okay.
and which is sort of research assistant. And currently, kind of few research assistants, I think approximately 40 and 50 research assistants have. So they are very important by providing basic data and basic materials. And the second one is that the final stage of research is that is to inform or diffuse the outcomes of researches for the concerned stakeholders, such as the city governments, city councils, citizens, and also related companies. So in this respect, Busan Development Institute is trying to apply, as I mentioned, that the AI to the ongoing research system and also develop the AI-based research systems, as I said before. So that is, I think, the missions, goals of my institute.
I see. I think it's interesting how you described AI, not just like a replacement for researchers, but like an assistant, right? And partner through the research process. And definitely, I think the approach makes advanced technology feel much more human-centered, I think, and accessible. And having spent many years in academia as a professor at Busan National University, you have likely given deep thought to cooperation among local universities, industries, and governments. So what kind of industry, academia, government collaboration model would best suit our city of Busan?
I think you point out very important issues. So for me, as a professor, I emphasize that points, collaborations among university and local governments and the industry sectors. So collaborations among three agents, as I mentioned, that local governments and university and industry are, I think, essential for the Busan's economic or social developments, especially, as I mentioned, to mitigate the gaps between the capital area and the local areas. I understand the industry sector should utilize the university's innovative capacity, innovation powers, abilities. So actually, the university is now supported by the local governments. So for that purpose, new project, it is called RISE. RISE is that Regional Innovation System and Educations. Has been initiated here in Busan and spread out nationwide. For Busan, I think, as you ask, to maximize the effectiveness of RISE project, I hope three local governments such as Busan, Ulsan, Gyeongnam should cooperate under that collaborations. Then I think we can extend the economic zones, greater economic zones, Busan, Ulsan, Gyeongnam. Then I think Busan may be the key center or key city in that area.
Right. The idea of Busan, Ulsan, and Gyeongnam working together as one larger economic zone feels, I think, realistic. And it's a strategic way to strengthen regional competitiveness in the long term. And working together is always better. Now, Busan is facing complex challenges involving population, industry, urban structure, and ways of life. So where do you see the most critical structural issue Busan must address right now? And are there any key research projects that the Institute is preparing to tackle this issue?
Yeah, as you said, I think we need to make big changes in the structure of current industries. For sustainable growth in Busan. Right. So it is very urgent to develop and foster the key industries. So when I think of key industries now, well, it's not easy to mention. However, in the past, we could say this industry is a key industries.
Right.
Just like that. To attract young people from all over the world, we have to develop and also force the high-quality job opportunities by key industries. For this purpose, the Institute focuses on marine and logistics industries, which with the help of central governments. And the second is the finance and MICE industries. MICE is very important, right? Meeting, incentives, conventions, exhibitions industries. So actually, those industries, I think, high value-added service sectors, which can create many good, decent jobs for the young people.
Definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
Then Busan,
Go ahead.
Then Busan becomes an attractive city.
Absolutely. And industries like MICE or finance, I think it's a very global thing. And it will attract not just people living here in Busan, but visitors, tourists as well. Now, by prioritizing value-added industries, as you mentioned, marine logistics, finance, and MICE, I think it sounds like the goal is not just growth, but sustainable growth. Yes. And you have also stressed the importance of international research networks and global case studies. So among global cities, which one do you feel faces challenges most similar to Busan's, and which of its policy models would you most like to apply here in Busan?
I already mentioned the two cities, Singapore and New York.
Right.
So among the two cities, I think we can get many lessons by investigating Singapore in terms of locations, also industry and the policies.
Right.
So for example, seaport, high value-added service industries such as education, medical services, and mines in Singapore are quite the same. Similar here in Busan.
Okay.
From the perspective of policies taken by Singapore government, we need to introduce some special zones for specific industries to be able to provide special benefits such as tax incentives, also rent subsidy.
Right.
In that case, I think we can think of two industries for special zones.
Okay.
So the first one is that, as you mentioned, marine and logistics. And the second one is that finance industries. Then I think those industries may be, as I mentioned, that the key industries in the future here in Busan.
Okay. So I think the idea of special zones tailored to specific industries feels especially relevant for Busan, as you mentioned, given its strength in marine and financial sectors. And it kind of goes back to our story and an idea of right now, when you think of Busan, there aren't specific industry that we can think of where it's like, in order to work in this industry, go to Busan. But in the future, it'll be marine, logistics, and finance finance industry for sure. Now, listeners, if you're just tuning into Busan Worldwide, we are speaking with Mr. Kim Young-jae, president of the Busan Development Institute. Now, for researchers to feel pride and fully immerse themselves in creative work, organizational culture and communication seem very essential. So, what principles of management or communication do you most want to uphold?
Yeah, in 1 month, for 1 month, I felt that is really important. Yeah, so I already emphasized the 3 ups. 3 ups and 3 downs.
Okay.
For active and positive research environments. So the first one, 3 ups implies that identity of institute and self-esteem of researcher, also autonomy environments should be enhanced. And just like that, 3 downs, there is interventions, regulations, and also order with no rationality, which should be prohibited, reduced, right? And research activity is not like just a production process in the manufacturing sectors, but it needs mental, emotional stability to get through the whole process of research.
Interesting.
Yeah, in that sense, 3 ups, 3 downs, right? Thus, I'm thinking to hold so-called network day, regularly for all members of the institute for free, relaxed communications.
Okay, wow. There are 3 ups, 3 downs. What stands out to me is identity, like the 3 ups. So you want more of this identity, self-esteem, and autonomy. I've heard autonomy, but thinking of self-esteem of the researchers, I think that really shows your principle and your policy as well. Now, many policies and studies will be produced, but what kind of policy legacy do you most hope to leave as president of the Institute?
Yeah. As I already mentioned, many opportunities are being given for Busan, such as moving the Ministry of Marine Affairs and Fisheries, already moved in last December, also establishing route of North Arctic. That is another important opportunities. And the third opportunity is that the paradigm shifts, actually, national balanced development policies. In the past, the central government has the powers. Now the power moved to local governments. That is, I call paradigm shifts of national balanced development policies. Utilizing those real opportunities, my institute is willing to suggest, provide effective, practical policies to make Busan, as I said, key cities in the Busan, Ulsan, Gyeongnam, or actually the southern parts of the Korean economy. So I'm thinking to establish the greater economic zones. So economically, that means to utilize economy of scale or economy of scopes. Then I think Busan becomes the key city. Also, the greater economic zone will play very important role with competing the capital areas.
Right, definitely. And I think just hearing you talk about this and the future and policy legacy as well, I think it just shows how critical this moment is for Busan, and with so many strategic opportunities aligning at once. So this is definitely a critical moment for us. Now, you have said you want to make the Busan Development Institute a trusted policy research hub for citizens of Busan. So what message or promise would you like to share with the people of Busan?
Yeah, I'd like to emphasize that more than 100 smart, reliable researchers are working on their specific issues, such as economy and industries, and urban and transportations, and also culture and well-being, in addition to environment and security. Yeah, in one word, Busan Development Institute is comprehensive and trustworthy, policy-oriented institute for Busan today and the futures. Thus, I hope you encourage them, and also to support the outcomes. For me, as a president of Busan Development Institute, I will do my best to make a perfect research environments for them to get fruitful research outcomes. Again, Happy New Year and wish your dreams come true.
I love that. And definitely excited for the future of Busan Development Institute, but as well as future of Busan City. Now, before we let you go, I would love to ask you today's text topic question. So if you can just spend one day as a researcher, what issue would you want to study to help Busan develop? I know this is something you're thinking about all the time, but you can be creative, you can be silly about this topic today.
What do you think of the serious current social issues in Busan? I think one of them is the public transportation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So here in Busan or neighboring cities, there are so many attractive places. But without driving a car, it's not easy to get there. So if I have some chances, one day researchers, I'm interested in effective and convenient public transportation systems to get each places.
Right, I would love that. Going to Gyeongju and Gyeongnam, all the places without a car would be wonderful. Yes, and I think that would make Busan more accessible, right, but livable as well, attractive to visitors from around the world. Thank you so much for that answer. And that's going to do it for today's The Interview with Mr. Kim Young-jae here in the studio, the president of the Busan Development Institute. 네, 오늘 더 인터뷰에선 김영재 부산연구원장과 함께했는데요. 원장님 오늘 함께해 주셔서 고맙습니다.
감사합니다.
All right, with that, let's take a quick song break. This is IU with 분홍신.
열두 개로 갈린 서강남 골목길 어딜 가면 다
That's IU with 분홍신. Welcome back to Busan Worldwide. Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday morning so far. Thank you so much for tuning in today. How are you? Are you having a wonderful day? Just share with us. We have some messages coming in. We have 사랑대호님 as always saying hello, Stephanie and everyone. Happy hump day. Yes, happy hump day to you as well. Jinlina messaging in. Hello, Stephanie. Stay warm. Yes, it's quite cold outside. When I walked out today, though, around 9-10 a.m., it wasn't too cold. I want to say it was about 5 or 6 degrees in the morning. Not too bad for January 7th, right? I'm not complaining. But yes, I think it's going to get colder, right? So do warm up and stay warm and bundle up as well. Before we jump into our next segment, I want to remind you today's text topic question. If you could spend just one day as a researcher, what issue would you want to study to help Busan develop? It can be about anything. And I was thinking maybe something to do with pet policy or pet rights as well, dogs and cats and all pets, right? It can be anything fun or serious as well. 오늘의 문자 주제입니다. 만약 여러분이 11 연구원이 된다면 부산의 발전을 위해서 어떤 연구를 해보고 싶으신가요? You can be very, very creative. It can be something outrageous as well. So do let me know. With that, let's jump into Busan Update. And now it's time for Busan Update. Busan has opened applications for a housing loan and interest support program to help young residents secure stable housing. 부산시는 청년들의 주거 안정을 돕기 위해서 청년 임차보증금 대출 및 대출이자 지원사업 참여자를 모집합니다. So the program is open to unmarried or household head renters aged 19 to 39 who are registered residents of Busan and do not own a home. Participants can apply for lease deposit loans of up to 100 million won with annual interest rates of up to 2 to 2.5%, and the city provides interest support of up to 2.5 million won per year or for a maximum of 4 years actually. And applications are accepted through the Busan Youth Platform from the 1st to the 10th of each month with 50 applicants selected on a first-come, first-served basis. And that's it for today's Busan Update.
BEFM's The Interview is waiting for your participation. If you have any interesting stories to tell or unique experiences you'd like to share with our listeners, please leave a message on our website at www.befm.or.kr. We hope that your lives and experiences can be an inspiration for our listeners.
It is now time for Correspondent Reports. Let's turn to Japan for the latest updates today. Our correspondent Kim Ji-suk is on the line. 네, 오늘은 일본 소식 들어보겠습니다. 일본의 김지숙 통신원, 안녕하십니까?
네, 안녕하세요.
네.
새해 처음 인사드리는데요. 네, 청취자 여러분들 그리고 스테파니님 새해 복 많이 받으시기 바랍니다.
네, 새해 복 많이 받으세요. 제가 일본어로도 연습을 해봤는데요. 아케마시테 오메데토 고자이마스.
우와, 최고! 말 너무 좋으세요.
아, 감사합니다. 도시님, 제가 이제 테스코를 하면서 제가 여쭤봤는데 연습을 해도 일본어는 안 되네요.
네. 알면서 외우면 더 쉬워지지 않을까 싶은데요. 일본어로 아케마시테는 새해가 밝아서 그리고 오메데토 고자이마스는 축하한다는 뜻입니다.
그렇군요. All I know is 고자이마스. So this is good. 아케마시테 오메데토 고자이마스. But when she says it, it sounds amazing. I'm going to have to practice, right? Well, with that, let's jump into today's first topic. Now, reports indicate that the proportion of foreign residents among people in their 20s living in Japan is approaching 10%. So please walk us through the details. 네, 첫 번째 소식 볼게요. 일본에 거주하는 20대 인구의 외국인 비율이 10%에 근접했다고 합니다. 자세한 내용 전해주시죠.
네, 지난 3일 교도통신 보도에 따르면 지난해 20대 일본인 인구는 10년 전과 비교해서 103만 명 감소한 1,164만 명이었는데요. 20대 외국인 인구는 68만 명 증가한 122만 명이었습니다. 아울러 전 연령층에서 외국인 비율은 3%이지만 젊은 층 인구에서 외국인 10% 사회가 도래하고 있다고도 전했습니다.
그렇군요. So according to a Kyoto News report released on the 3rd, Japan's population in their 20s stood at 11.64 million last year. And that's a decline of 1.03 million compared to a decade ago. During the same period, the number of foreign residents in their 20s increased by 680,000, reaching 1.22 million. Now, while foreigners account for approximately 3% of Japan's total population across all age groups, the report notes that among younger generations, a so-called 10% foreigner society is beginning to take shape. Now, what social factors are contributing to the relatively high proportion of foreign residents among younger age groups? 이 젊은 층에서 외국인 비율이 높아진 데는 어떤 사회적 요인들이 작용하고 있는 걸까요?
네, 일본 거주 외국인 주민의 3분의 2가 30대 이하인데요. 교도통신은 저출산으로 일본인 젊은 층이 큰 폭으로 감소하는 가운데 노동력 부족을 외국인으로 대체하는 흐름이 강해지고 있기 때문이라고 전했고요. 해외 인재를 받아들이는 제도인 육성 7호 신설 등으로 외국인이 더 늘어날 가능성이 크다며 외국인의 지역사회 정착을 위해서는 일본어 학습과 또 전문 기술 습득 등을 지원하는 것이 과제가 될 것이라고 해설했습니다.
그렇군요. So Kyoto News reports that roughly 2/3 of all foreign residents in Japan are in their 20s or younger. This trend is largely attributed to Japan's declining birth rate, which has sharply reduced the number of young Japanese, while labor shortages are increasingly being filled by foreign workers. So the report also points to the introduction of the training employment system, which is expected to further increase the foreign population, and it adds that supporting Japanese language education and professional skill development will be the key challenges in helping foreign residents integrate into local communities. With that, let's move on to our second story. Japan's animation industry has reportedly reached a new all-time high in market size, so please provide the details. 네, 다음 소식입니다. 일본 애니메이션 산업의 시장 규모가 역대 최고치를 기록했다고 하는데요. 구체적인 내용 전해주시죠.
네, 애니메이션 제작사 등으로 구성된 일본 동영상협회가 애니메이션 산업의 시장 규모를 조사해 발표하는 애니메이션 산업 리포트의 2024년 결과가 최근 발표되었습니다. 이에 따르면 TV와 스트리밍 등 9개 항목을 조사한 결과 시장 규모는 전년을 약 15% 웃돈 3조 8,407억 엔으로 4년 연속 역대 최고를 경신했습니다.
I see. So the Association of Japanese Animations recently released the Anime Industry Report of 2024. And according to the report, which analyzes 9 categories including television and streaming services, the industry's market size reached 3.84 trillion yen, approximately 15% higher than the previous year. This marks the 4th consecutive year in which the industry has set a new record. Now, which sector accounted for the largest share of the market? 특히 해외에서의 인기가 높은 것으로 알려져 있는데요. 조사 항목 가운데 어떤 분야가 가장 큰 비중을 차지했나요?
네, 조사 항목 중에 해외와의 프로그램 계약과 상품 판매 등의 해외 전개가 가장 많아서 2조 1,702억 엔으로 전체의 절반 이상을 차지했습니다. 하면 일본 국내에서는 애니메이션 관련 상품화가 7,488억 엔, 스트리밍이 2,655억 엔으로 모두 전년 대비 6% 남짓 증가했고요. TV가 982억엔, 영화가 690억엔으로 모두 전년 대비 1% 남짓 증가했습니다.
그렇군요. 일본 콘텐츠 산업의 글로벌 영향력을 다시 한번 확인할 수 있는 결과인데요. So the largest portion came from overseas expansion, including international licensing and merchandise sales. This category totaled 2.17 trillion yen, accounting for more than half of the overall market. Within Japan, merchandise sales reached 748.8 million yen, while streaming services generated 265.5 billion yen, both posting year-on-year growth of around 6%. Now, with that, let's jump into our final topic for today. The first tuna auction of the year at Tokyo's Toyosu Market has set a new all-time price record, so let's hear the details. 세 번째 소식입니다. 도쿄 도요스 시장에서 열린 새해 첫 참치 경매에서 역대 최고가가 나왔다고 하는데요. 자세한 내용 전해주시죠.
네, NHK에 따르면 토요스 시장에서 5일 오전 개최된 새해 첫 경매에서 243kg짜리 아오모리현 오마산 참다랑어가 5억 1,030만 엔, 약 47억 원에 낙찰됐습니다. 이는 관련 기록이 남아있는 1999년 이후 역대 최고가인 2019년에 3억 3,360만 엔, 약 30억 8천만 원을 크게 웃도는 금액입니다.
네, 숫자만 들어도 놀라울 정도의 금액인데요. So according to NHK, at the New Year's first auction held on the morning of the 5th, a 243 kilogram bluefin tuna from Oma in Aomori Prefecture was sold for 510.3 million yen. This significantly surpassed the previous record of 333.6 million yen set back in 2019. So the highest price recorded since official tracking began back in 1999. Now, who won the bid and what is the significance of the first tuna auction of the year? 그럼 이번 참치를 낙찰받은 곳은 어디이며 새해 첫 참치 경매가 갖는 의미는 무엇일까요?
네, 일본의 이 참치 경매는 1935년 도쿄의 츠키지 시장에서 시작되었습니다. 그리고 새해 첫 경매는 새해를 맞이하여 사업 번창과 행운을 기원하는 의미가 담겨 있는데요. 해마다 가장 비싼 참치가 경매에 올라서 그 해의 경제 상황을 가늠하는 자료로도 활용되어서요. 매년 많은 주목을 받고 있습니다. 그리고 올해 낙찰자는 초밥 체인점 스시 잔마이를 경영하는 키요무라인데요. 이 업체는 2019년 신년 첫 경매에서 최고가 참치를 낙찰받은 바 있습니다.
그렇군요. So yes, so Japan's tuna auctions date back to 1935 when they were first held at Tokyo's Tsukiji Market. And the first auction of the year traditionally symbolizes wishes for prosperity and good fortune in the coming year. And the highest priced tuna is often viewed as an indicator of economic sentiment. Now, this year's winning bidder was Kiyomura, the operator of the sushi chain Sushi Zanmai, which also secured the record-setting tuna at the 2019 New Year's auction. And that's going to do it for today's Correspondent Reports and all the updates coming from Japan. 네, 오늘은 여기까지 듣겠습니다. 고맙습니다.
네, 감사합니다. 지금까지 일본 후쿠오카에서 김지숙 통신원이었습니다.
All right, and thank you so much for all the latest updates and teaching me how to speak Japanese as well. We have Honeymom님 saying 일본어 귀엽습니다. Thank you so much. It's something that I'm not very good at, but I would love to learn Japanese one day. Also, we have Jenny in Hong Kong님 saying hello, hello. Hello to you as well, and Jin Lee-님 as well. So listeners, today, the text topic, real quick, was about what you would do, right? What you would research on. And I want to talk about just one text message here. We have 6167번님 sending me really good message. 청년 창업이 부산에서 왜 어렵게 느껴지는지 정말 장애물은 무엇인지 알고 싶습니다. 청년들의 목소리를 다양하게 들어보고 싶고요. 토론하면서 답을 찾아가고 싶습니다. That's a wonderful idea. I wish that the guest today actually heard that. I'm sure he will tune in later and listen to that. But yes, hearing the voices of young people here in Busan and supporting them with actual policies would be a great idea. Well, thank you so much for messaging in 6167번님. And listeners, that's all we have prepared for you today, but we'll be back tomorrow at 11:05 a.m. Final song for today is by Travis with Flowers in the Window. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
When I first held you, I was cold. A melting snowman, I was told. But there was no one there to hold. Before I swore that I would be alone forevermore. Wow, look at you now, flowers in the window. It's such a lovely day, and I'm glad you feel the same. Just to stand up out in the crowd, you are one in a million, and I love you so. Let's watch the flowers grow. There is no reason to feel bad, but there are many seasons to feel bad, sad, and mad. It's just a bunch of feelings that we have to hold, but I've been here to help you with the load. Wow, look at you now, flowers in the window. It's such a lovely day, and I'm glad you feel the same. Stand up out in the crowd, you are one in a million, and I love you so. Let's watch the flowers grow. So now we're here and now is fine. So far away from there, and there is time to plant new seeds and watch them grow. So there